I'm Bill Jones, and welcome to VYPE TV, a show that highlights local athletes, their schools, and their communities. On today's show, thousands of people in North Texas watched the big game last week. Some North Texas families had their eyes focused on individual players. Hear about their proud moments. Last week was National Signing Day. Our resident expert, David McNabb, is here to give us a recruiting update. Plus, this week marked a special anniversary for an NBA star with North Texas roots. We'll take you back to stir up some fun memories. And finally, with district play in high gear, we'll show you some boys and girls basketball highlights. Well, Super Bowl 45 will leave many lasting memories for North Texans. Snow and ice were just part of the week, which included local players who came home to play in the big game and a local high school that helped the National Football League. But my favorite story surrounding this Super Bowl involves a former Texas high school football record-setting quarterback and his father, one of the best coaches in the history of Texas high school football.
Second down now. Deep strike, got big man, touchdown, and touchdown, Red Raiders.
Just over 2 years after throwing one of the most dramatic game-winning touchdown passes in college football history, Texas Tech ex-Graham Harrell is now on football's biggest stage. As the Packers' third-string quarterback, he's back home, and his father, former Ennis Lion head coach Sam Harrell, couldn't be happier.
Got the playoffs and one win, and each time you keep thinking, well, they win another one, they're going to be a little closer. They win, and all of a sudden they win the NFC championship. They're coming all the way back to Dallas.
After all those times I experienced with Dad, like I said, through high school, playing high school, for winning the state championship with him, the tough losses even were special just because he's there. And then you get to come home and be in a Super Bowl, and like I said, there's no telling how much longer he's gonna be able to come to football games.
That's because 54-year-old Sam Harrell has multiple sclerosis, forced to give up coaching last year after 16 years and 3 state championships at Ennis High School.
Every time we get in the huddle, what we always say? State chance, baby, state chance.
All of a sudden you get struck with a disease that changes just your whole life, really, and then I started wondering, golly, what kind of dad am I going to be? What kind of granddad am I going to be? If I can't even get up and play ball with them.
That was honestly probably the toughest day of the whole since he's had the disease, and like I said, he didn't tell us for a while, and then when he did tell us, that was tough. It was tough on him. But me and my brother's like, it doesn't change who you are as a person. We don't care.
We'd like to congratulate you again on another great season. Congratulations. Good job. Well done.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it right here. Give out to those guys.
Talk about a football family. Sam Harrell's 3 sons all played a role in the Ennis Lions' 3 state titles. And Sam and his father both coached with the legendary Gordon Wood at Brownwood, for whom Sam also played quarterback in high school.
He's unbelievable. And that's the thing, a lot of times I wonder how he's doing. I'm so far away from him. I don't ever get to see him, and it's so tough. And then, you talk to him, and you think he's just fine. Don't worry. If I ever ask about him, he's like, don't worry about me, I'm fine.
You can't imagine someone having that positive an attitude to having that disease, but he's very optimistic, and he's doing better.
He's doing better thanks to stem cell transplants last summer in Panama.
That stem cell treatment stuff is expensive, and we couldn't afford it, so we did fundraising type thing, and the coaches across the whole state of Texas were just unbelievably kind and generous, and it's just been a wonderful thing how the coaches helped me out.
Hopefully the stem cells are going to continue to help him, the treatments he's getting, and he'll be able to come for as long as I play. But MS can attack you in a hurry, and he, in a couple of years he may never be able to come to a game again. But my first year I land in the Super Bowl, and he's gonna get to come because it's right here in Dallas. It's gonna be such an awesome experience.
Down to 1/2, that's all you got. And who can win 1/2? Well, I'm gonna bet on the Ennis Lions. That's who I'm betting on.
It's just gonna bring back memories of him playing so many games in Texas Stadium and being part of the Ennis Lions there, and then how many great places he got to play at while he's at Texas Tech, and then now he's getting to do it at another the biggest stage there is, and it's just going to remind us that we're awfully blessed.
What a great positive attitude for Sam Harrell. By the way, he will be headed back to Panama next month for more stem cell treatments for his multiple sclerosis. Meanwhile, the Harrell family was at Cowboys Stadium for the big game last week. Although Graham didn't play, he did walk away with a Super Bowl ring. What a great day. But Graham wasn't the only one. Green Bay safety Charlie Pepra will also get a Super Bowl ring. Charlie went to Plano East High School, made a difference this year for the Packers with 63 tackles and 2 interceptions. This is his second stint with Green Bay after playing a year in Atlanta. Pepra credits the strength of high school football in Texas for part of his success.
I think the whole Texas football, man, the whole system in Plano East, playing there, that's got me prepared. The level of competition has got me prepared to play at the level, the high level I'm playing at now. So Texas high school football got me prepared.
Charlie had been key to the Packers' success this season. He helped the team, which sustained a number of injuries. The Super Bowl was no exception. And Charlie came through in a big way. He led all Packer players with 9 tackles in the game. So how did all our local players do in the Super Bowl? Well, let's take a look at some of those that were in action. Of course, we mentioned Graham Harrell, who wasn't playing in the game. Dimitri Nance as well from Trinity. Pepra leading the way with 9 tackles for the Packers, and Marshall Newhouse out of TCU in Lake Highlands was hurt earlier in the season. On the Pittsburgh side, the starter at left tackle was Jonathan Scott out of Dallas Carter and the University of Texas. As we mentioned last week, the ice and snow forced the Green Bay Packers to practice at Highland Park's indoor facility, but that wasn't the only local high school that welcomed NFL players. Some North Texas kids were given an opportunity to play a little ball with some big stars. Cowboys Pro Bowl tight end Jason Witten teamed up with country music star Garth Brooks for the 2nd annual Super Camp at South Lake Carroll Senior High School. A few big stars were on hand to help teach kids the fundamentals of football and cheer, but the camp was mostly about teaching an important lesson in life.
It's about becoming great young men and women, because the baton hands over to them to run the nation. This is a good camp, and it's one of many seeds these guys are spreading.
Another cool note about the Super Camp, none of the kids had to pay. Many were selected because they typically wouldn't have the money to attend a superstar camp. Coming up next on VYPE TV, Friday Night Lights may finally be coming to one North Texas town. And later, we're approaching the end of basketball's regular season. We have highlights from some of the best boys and girls high school teams in Texas. Friday Night Lights may finally be coming to one small North Texas community. Brock ISD, southwest of Weatherford, is a 2A school of about 900 students, one of the few districts in Texas without a high school football program. What a basketball program they have, though. But they have a plan in motion to change that. The school board will start with football in the 7th and 8th grade if $112,000 is raised by March 31st and a bond election passes in May. Many hope that leads to a high school team. And again, they play lots of good basketball in Brock. Time for our recruiting update. With that, we welcome in David McNabb, VYPE recruiting expert, author of the weekly McNabb Report. Before we get into the recruiting, let's talk a little bit about Emory Bullard, a coaching legend in Texas, not only in the high school ranks, but also collegiately. The father of the wishbone offense is what a lot of people credit Emory Bullard with. Of course, as an assistant on Darrell Royal's staff in 1968, he came up with the wishbone formation for Texas to run. And David, I thought Kevin Sherrington in the Morning News had a great column on Emory Bullard the day after he passed away. He mentioned that R.C. Slocum, the former Texas A&M coach who had coached with Emory Bullard for him at A&M when Bullard was a head coach in the 70s there, was at his bedside 2 days before he passed away. And he said that Emory whispered to him, "I had a great life. I did exactly what I wanted to do."
Yeah, and he's very well respected, well known, and you have to remember the time period, which Kevin did a good job in his column, that before Emory Bullard came along, one, nobody had ever heard of the option, which is a tremendous legacy. Plus, no one had ever heard of a college football assistant before. There was no such thing as coaches in waiting, which Emory probably would have been the very first one of those, because no one had ever heard of an assistant until he came up with that.
And he was actually linebackers coach at Texas, and then Darrell Royal moved him over to the offensive side as his offensive coordinator and said, "Put an offense in for me." And he did that. And of course, many schools had had great success with the wishbone. Emory Bellard, 83 years old when he passed away earlier this week. Let's talk recruiting now and Junior Day at the University of Texas specifically, which is tomorrow.
Yeah, Junior Days in February for the class of 2012, just right on the heels. And there's several really great players from North Texas that are going down there. Skyline has their receiver, Thomas Johnson, their running back / linebacker, Peter Jenkins, who already got an offer from Will Muschamp at Florida, Curtis Reiser, who has an offer from everybody, Alex DeLatorre of Denton Ryan.
And, you know, Texas always has so many great recruits that they're first in line to go in the door at Texas. But I'd like to ask you first off about Jonathan Gray, though. Of course, the Landry Award winner from Aledo. What's going on with Jonathan's recruitment?
Well, Jonathan is going to go to Texas for a Junior Day. He's visited TCU. Everybody's telling him they love him and they want him. And he's one of the rare athletes that will get a scholarship held for them. When they go to these Junior Days, there'll be a couple that the coach will come in. At some time the family's taking a tour and they'll bring them into either Mac Brown's office or Bob Stoops' office or Gary Patterson's office, and they'll say, well, we love you and we want you to come to our university and we're giving you a scholarship offer. And then it's the after that. We'll hold it open for you. You're one of 3 at your position, and if you commit before the other ones, you get it, or you have until a month and then we have to go look at other kids for that, or we love you and we're going to keep evaluating you. So that's sort of what happens on these Junior Days.
All right, and you mentioned the 2 kids from Skyline who are heavily recruited this year, Thomas Johnson as well as Peter Jenkins. And, you know, Skyline just year after year keeps producing these players.
Yeah, Skyline, it's amazing. And you know, Thomas Johnson even ran out of the Wildcat some last year. Peter Jenkins started out as a linebacker and then had an injury, and then they had another injury to a running back, so he played that. And like I said, Will Muschamp at Florida, he's one of the handful of kids in Texas that he's remembering at the University of Florida.
Well, and then DeSoto High School is another hotbed for recruiters. You know, a couple of years ago, we had Evan Washington, who went to LSU, who's a top offensive line prospect, and they've got another good one in the class of 2012, Curtis Reiser.
Yeah, even when people were recruiting Evan, who was a big 6'5", 280-pound basketball player who concentrated on football, they were going, who's that kid over there? And that kid was Curtis Reiser. So now he's about to be a senior, and he'll be a guy people will hold scholarship offers for, but he's the kind of kid that I think really likes Texas. And on Sunday night or Monday, you may be hearing Texas has a commit from, you know,
Curtis Reiser's listed at 6'3", 283. Who knows exactly what he's at right now? Denton Ryan, we saw all the prospects, especially the juniors on that team, as they made their run through the state playoffs. Of course, Mario Edwards, the defensive end, the son of former Dallas Cowboy Mario Edwards, is one of the top recruits in the nation. He also mentioned Alex DeLatorre.
Yeah, Alex is a terrific football player, really proven himself. Denton Ryan has a lot. Mario, I don't think is going to Texas, isn't scheduled to go down there. He's kind of doing a little different recruiting because he's one of, we love you, we'll take you whenever you decide to come here. So, and again, he's kind of like Gray. Those are really the top 2 in this area that are in that category.
All right, so you touched on this a little bit as we were talking about Jonathan Gray, but the scene there on Sunday in Austin, Mac Brown basically calls the recruits into his office with their parents and sits them down and tells them what again?
Yeah, they all get the I love you first, and then it's what comes after that. It's we're offering you a scholarship, and you're going to, have however long you want. That's a few players. And then you're going to get we love you. We've offered 2 other guys at this position. The first one to commit gets the scholarship. We love you. We're going to keep evaluating you some more, which is the slump shoulders. I guess I better take some other visits because I don't have an offer from Texas yet. But they could come back and offer them.
And I think it's really neat that it's the day before Valentine's Day and all that love coming out of Mac Brown's office.
That's right, and that happens, like I said, at every college stop. That's the ceremonial. Coach Brown wants to see you now.
Okay. So then, for like the rivals guys, they find out by Sunday night. They'll know all of these commitments to the University of Texas or OU or A&M or whoever. All right. how does that process happen?
Oh, they're on the elevator texting. I just committed to Texas.
The recruits themselves.
The recruits and the parents, they're on there. I got my offer from Texas, I committed. I got my offer from Oklahoma, I committed. That's before the elevator hits the floor. That's going out. It used to, you had to, the cell coverage is better. They had to get out of the building before. Now we can get it out before the elevator hits the floor.
All right, David McNabb's insight on all this recruiting. Yes, next year's class, it'll be determined on Sunday down in Austin and other places. We appreciate it as usual. And coming up next on VYPE TV, we'll relive some of the greatest dunks in NBA history from someone with roots in North Texas. And we have highlights from top-ranked Lakeview Centennial. That and more as VYPE TV continues.
VYPE DFW's February high school sports magazines are on free racks now. This month we reveal our Powerade All VYPE football teams, slating the area's best players and coaches, and 3 regional MVPs. VYPE DFW looks back at National Signing Day and looks ahead, ranking the area's top 2012 football recruits. VYPE DFW also presents our new redesigned website, providing breaking high school sports news and recruiting updates, as well as an opportunity for schools to profit from their own website. Go to vype.com/DFW today.
It may not seem like it, but springtime is rapidly approaching, and 8 area high school baseball teams will begin their seasons ranked among the top 10, according to the preseason poll of the Texas High School Baseball Coaches Association. Coppell is the area's highest-ranked Class 5A team at number 4. South Lake Carroll is ranked number 7. Rockwall Heath is ranked number 4, and Frisco Wakeland number 8 among area 4A teams. Lovejoy ranked number 4, and Argyle 6 in the 3A rankings. Sunnyvale in at number 6 in 2A, and Blue Ridge is number 5 in the Class A preseason baseball rankings. 25 years ago this week, what a night in downtown Dallas. NBA All-Stars Saturday, and the pride of Wilmer Hutchins High School soared higher than everybody. 5'7" tall Spud Webb scored 2 perfect scores in the NBA's slam dunk competition to best his then Atlanta Hawks teammate Dominique Wilkins, February 8th, 1986, 25 years ago this week at Reunion Arena, one of the most memorable moments in Dallas sports history. Going to start our highlights this week with some highlights from one of the state's best female players. A few days ago in Plano, Argyle Liberty Christian took on John Paul II, and Liberty Christian features a talented squad, and playing point guard this night was Nicole Cornett, one of the top juniors in the nation. Of course, Nicole is also the daughter of TXA 21's own Tracy Cornett. And Nicole Cornett and the Liberty Christian Lady Warriors look like the team to beat in the state in the TAPS playoffs, which get underway this coming week. Again, Nicole being recruited widely across the country. And joining us more to talk about local hoops is Tim Polzer, editor-in-chief for VYPE Magazine. Thanks for being here as usual, Tim. And those girls' playoffs get started this week. It's hard to believe that the basketball regular season is ending for the girls this week, boys next week. And talking about some of those girls' teams, Irving MacArthur and DeSoto among the top-ranked teams in the state.
That's right. It's just like almost like a replay from last year. You know, MacArthur was very close, probably on their way to going to a state final until Odyssey Sims got hurt. But Alexis Jones is back. They've got a deep squad, so I think they're the team to beat.
Yep, I think so too. And of course, Odyssey Sims, she got injured in the regional final, I believe, over here in Fort Worth in last year's playoffs, and she's doing great things for the number 1 ranked women's basketball team in the country, Baylor, scoring about in double digits on the season. But I think Alexis Jones is her equal, and Alexis Jones, one of the top juniors in the nation. I think she's the 4th ranked junior player in the entire nation, and so big things in store for the Lady Cardinals. Let's move over to the boys' side now, and the top ranked team throughout the season in the state of Texas has been Lakeview Centennial, a team under Coach Tony Malden that made a deep run in the playoffs last year, too.
Right. Lakeview's been the team to beat this year. Them and Marcus have been getting the most publicity. But when you have 2 scorers like Todd Gotcher and Chris Jones, and there's a deep scoring lineup, it's hard for a defense to go up and actually just, double or triple team one guy. So that kind of depth could really lead to another long playoff run for Centennial.
They have depth on their team, and really, once again this year, here, there is depth as far as Dallas-Fort Worth, North Texas area boys high school hoops teams. It's incredible the number of teams. In fact, the top 5 teams in Class 5A in the state of Texas. You include Lakeview, Marcus, as you mentioned, Cedar Hill, DeSoto, North Crowley. They're all in the top 5.
That's right. And it's kind of it's too bad because some of these guys are going to get caught up in getting. They're not going to get out of the region. That's right. Just like football.
Second round of the playoffs could be really incredible.
Exactly. You might have state finals dreams, but you're 2 and done, and that's disappointing for them.
All right, Tim Polzer, we appreciate it as usual. There's more to come here on VYPE TV this week. We'll be back in 2 minutes. There's a lot to find on VYPE Magazine's website. Here are some of the most seen pages this week. At the top of the list, a slideshow of the Irving MacArthur girls basketball team as they played Grapevine on January 10th. MacArthur won 69-43. They continue their domination of District 6 5A this season behind Alexis Jones. Number 2 on the list, a slideshow of the Birdville-Everman boys soccer match. These pictures were posted back on January 24th. And third most viewed on the VYPE website are some pictures from January's magazine covers with VYPE Magazine's usual spectacular photography of the football playoffs. You can see these pictures and more at VYPE.com/DFW. Coming up next on TXA 21, it's Big 12 basketball. The 22nd ranked Aggies from Texas A&M taking on Texas Tech. And at 3 o'clock, Iowa State squares off against second ranked Kansas. And later, NBA action tonight as the Mavericks look to continue their winning ways as they take on the Houston Rockets. That's all happening today and tonight here on TXA 21. Thanks for joining us this morning. We'll be back next week at noon to bring you the best stories in North Texas high school sports. Have a great day and a great week.